I stepped outside, so my jacket's a little wet. Early estimates from retailers forecast the biggest increase in holiday sales since 2011. The Federal Trade Commission does have the authority to go after these spammers. That is, if the agency can even track them down. We did obtain these emails. If you've ever had someone close to you commit suicide, you know it's something that just sticks with you. Now, that's something that you might want to check into because accreditation means accountability.
For those of you who weren't able to make the road trip down here to Mobile, we figured, hey, let's bring you the ultimate bowl experience, and what better way to do that than bring you smack dab in the middle of the madness.
With the weight loss journey underway, I think they're all just excited to get those first results, those first few pounds lost, and of course we'll be alongside for the ride.
Today News.
Welcome back to Good Morning Regionate. It is 6:30, so let's go ahead and get your morning started. Senator Mark Pryor and Congressman Tom Cotton go head-to-head in another debate today. We're going to have all the details. And severe weather killed one Arkansan and destroyed homes and businesses across Region 8. We're going to take a look at some of the damage. Thanks, Hanson. Happening now, cleanup efforts underway after yesterday's deadly storms. Storms, they hit hard and fast all over the state. One of the hardest parts of Region 8 that was hit was Clay County, where the storm damaged 3 homes. Those storms also killed 1 person near Ashdown, Arkansas. The victim, a veteran and father of 3. The family was in their home when the storm came through. Your voice, your vote, health care, the Farm Bill, foreign policy. Senator Mark Pryor and Congressman Tom Cotton are laying it all out on the table just to try to sway your vote. The two debated yesterday on the Arkansas Education Television Network. Also later today, Mississippi County voters will decide on a proposed hospital sales tax in a special election. All normal polling sites will be open today, except over in Gosnell. The community center will be the only polling site open today in that area. The polls are open from 7:30 this morning to 7:30 tonight. Looking ahead, you also have a chance to hear from gubernatorial candidates Mike Ross and Asa Hutchinson. That debate is set for next Monday at ASU. It's one of your last chances to hear from the two, and we will also show that debate live at KEIT8.2 and at KEIT8.com. Optimistic about progress, that's how Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel describes his talks with Turkey about its role in the coalition against the Islamic State group. Hagel says teams from U.S. Central Command and U.S. European Command are negotiating. The U.S. would like to use a key Turkish air base to launch operations against ISIS. Islamic State militants have taken control over large areas of Iraq and Syria, including territory on Turkey's border. A humanitarian crisis is unfolding. Over 200,000 residents fled from Kobani across to the border onto Turkey. The UN warns of a possible massacre on those that remain there. ISIS also continues to threaten Baghdad, coming within 15 miles of the Baghdad airport, so close that the U.S. had to call in Apache attack helicopters. Today, 23 military defense leaders from coalition partners and Middle Eastern countries will meet with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and President Obama at Joint Base Andrews. The U.S. is expected to ask them to do more to fight against ISIS. New information this morning on Ebola cases in the U.S. The Texas nurse battling that deadly disease will get some much needed help from an American Ebola survivor. Symphony, how will this survivor really be able to help out? Today, Missouri News now, dozens of people, including clergy members and political activists, Cornell West handcuffed in Ferguson. It was part of organized protests called Ferguson October. This event started at a church in Ferguson, and the group marched a quarter of a mile to the Ferguson Police Department. The event started peacefully, but arrests began when the crowd attempted to cross the police barricade and marched right up to that police department. Police report more than 50 arrests had happened with this, and they expect that number to grow even more. Most were detained for disturbing the peace. The St. Louis suburb has been pretty much the epicenter of these protests since that police shooting where he shot 18-year-old Michael Brown. And in a consumer watch, it may be a few dollars per month, but over the course of time, those little extra bank fees, they really add up. Karen Kafa has some tips to trim the amount of money you spend to use your money in this morning's Consumer Watch. Check it out.
Amanda?
Thanks, Justin. He already told me he was going to make me some tomato soup, so I'm excited about that for sure. Well, we begin this morning with a recap on storm damage. Severe weather swept through the state and caused damage in some areas. Here in Region 8, one of the hardest hit areas was over in Clay County. There were 3 homes there damaged in Monday's storms. Allison Munn has much more. There's so much happened over there. And as the storms rolled through the area, damage reports began coming into our newsroom. Here's a quick overview of some of the damage reports that we received. Now to a new fast food battle. McDonald's and Burger King going head to head, offering some new discounts. While Gio Benitez tells us what's fueling the price cuts and what it means for your bottom line.
It's the battle of the fast food titans.
How about Converse? They're suing 31 retailers and manufacturers, including H&M, Walmart, Kmart, and even Skechers. The lawsuit accuses them of stealing the design of Converse popular shoes known as Chuck Taylors. Thanks, Justin. Your cup of coffee wakes you up daily. Justin was talking about how he just needed to get a refill. But does it do your body any good? Dr. Timothy Johnson has more. This morning's Consumer Watch focuses on another major retail giant system that's hacked. Kmart revealed that its payment system was compromised by malware since early September. A company spokesperson says that some customers who used credit and debit cards while shopping in the stores were impacted by this. iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus owners prepare to start using Apple Pay. The system is reportedly set to debut this Saturday. And before you drive to McDonald's this morning to pick up your cup of joe, pay attention to this story because the fast food company revealed some secrets to some of your favorite menu items for the very first time, hoping transparency will help gain your trust. Gio Benitez has more.
It's that iconic burger joint.
Thanks, Andrew. Pack the umbrella and be careful out there. Happening now, Arkansas State Police investigate a death at a Region 8 jail. Your voice, your vote. It was a big day in Region 8 yesterday as former President Bill Clinton was in Jonesboro helping to campaign for the Democratic Party. While the Arkansas First rally was aimed at drumming up support for Arkansas Democrats, it also served as a push for Arkansas younger voters to get out there and make sure that their voices are heard. Arkansas Democratic candidates and former President Bill Clinton addressed Region 8 on the front lawn of the ASU Student Union. Medical leaders investigate possible cases of the enterovirus just outside of Region 8. Le Bonheur Children's Hospital in Memphis held a news conference on Monday to address those concerns. 526 continuing coverage for senior officials at the Veterans Affairs Department get the boot. The fires are because of the nationwide scandal over falsified records and lengthy delays for medical care. We have some amazing video to show you this morning. It's just a scary situation, a sidewalk scare outside of a Florida cafe. Miami police, you see it there. Diners were sitting outside Saturday when a 66-year-old man lost control of his car and drove up on the sidewalk. Man, striking patrons there. 10 people had to be taken to the hospital because of this, and that included 2 children. The driver was not hurt, but police are investigating and they believe that speed may have been a factor in this crash. Nonetheless, very scary, very scary. Talk about an unforgettable wedding proposal. This one's something. On Sunday, a man proposed to his girlfriend while they were in a hot air balloon in California. And, you know, that was cool and all, but unfortunately, the balloon had problems shortly after he popped the question. Imagine that. Okay, so wind shifts led the balloon offshore, and a group of surfers had to take the messenger line from the balloon, and then they pulled it down until lifeguards arrived on the scene. There were no injuries, and the couple will presumably live happily ever after, and then they'll have just a great story to be able to tell the grandkids one day. Just crazy. Looking ahead, the second total lunar eclipse of the year is going to happen early tomorrow. If the skies are clear, we are going to be able to get to view it. The total eclipse will last about an hour, sometime between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. here in Region 8. I'm going to have to see if I can get a picture and check it out. It will also be visible across Australia and much of Asia. The moon will appear orange or red, the result of sunlight scattering off Earth's atmosphere, and that's why it's called the blood moon, if you've heard it called that before. Much of the information I gathered has not been released to the full quorum court just yet. But one of the biggest burdens for the county is this building. It was built in 1919, and the wear and tear from over the years with Mother Nature and the fact much of the building is still in its original form makes it really hard for county officials to conduct business. When it rains in Mississippi County,
If the water can't get off the top of the building and down the gutters, then it's got to come in the building.
county officials keep their fingers crossed.
How much is it going to rain? How long is it going to last?
Water leaking through the roof, running through the walls, swollen and chipped, saturating carpets, creating mold concerns, and tough to conduct day-to-day operations.
People were stomping in water, yes.
Justice Bill Nelson showed me the extent of that damage.
Water intrusion has come in and cracked the concrete. This crack is where it's been wet and it's dried and it's pulled apart. I'm going to show you the courtroom. It's time for us to make some major changes up there, major improvements, or the judges may lock us up.
All jokes aside, the cracked ceiling, mold-stained carpets, and deteriorating walls are no laughing matter. We're able to bring you up here to a restricted area. This is the balcony in the courtroom on the 3rd floor. You can see the water that's gathered up here at the bottom of the balcony. It's a pretty good amount of water splashing around. It's gotten so high before that it's left a line. This right here, it's called the high water mark, and it's just from all the wear and tear from the water settling. The building is on the National Record of Historic Places. It requires the building to remain in its original form, which makes repairs to the roof almost impossible.
It's just like walking on eggshells. It would crack every time you put any pressure on it.
The cost to replace the roof is estimated at $250,000 to $300,000. Next week, Nelson hopes to pass a resolution to modify Blytheville and Osceola County seat structure to a single county seat status by creating one central location.
It'll cut our costs not in half, but it'll cut it tremendously.
The plan is to combine county seats through attrition. But to get the new building, the process could likely take 3 to 4 years. So essentially, this is something you can't wait on.
We really shouldn't wait. We've waited far too long.
Nelson says the Arkansas Northeastern College Burdett campus is on their radar for the new courthouse, which would require residents in both Blytheville and Osceola to drive about 10 miles to conduct county business. Are you concerned about opposition from the public?
We are. We know that there's a lot of people here who want the courthouse 2 doors down.
But Nelson hopes residents can look at the entire picture.
A 100-year-old building no longer serves our need. We've got to do something.
The first step will take place at this Tuesday's quorum court meeting with a presentation of a resolution to conduct a study to modify the existing Blytheville and Osceola County seat structure